Alright guys, I'm starting off this video a little bit differently, but I'm just showing you the team lineup that it's a tier 6 game. Because I just want to examine one situation in this game. I've always believed in trying to help people get better in learning, and a lot of people have asked for map strategy videos, or some people have. And like I said, it's map awareness. Somebody calls out the Kamikaze is behind BBs. Now, if you don't know, the Kamikaze is a tier 5 IJM premium destroyer. Most players that have that ship are good in it. They understand it, and it is a very strong ship. It has a detectability of 5.4 kilometers, which is, if not the best concealment, it's the second best. The only thing that would beat it would be something at even a lower tier. But its torpedoes are 7 kilometers. It gets three twin launchers, and they reload fairly quickly. So, looking at the mini-map, I'm all the way at H9. Oh, sorry for the sniffle. Now, with this being standard battle, we technically have the lead. I believe we have the ship lead too, but of course, that could change, any moment. But looking at the situation, when you're playing standard battles, you usually have two options. You push to the enemy cap, which may force them to come back, and if they don't, then hey, pray you can cap them out, and your team can hold off while you try to get the cap. Or you got to turn around and defend. Usually when you're winning, the decision's a lot easier. You're winning. There's no need to push. The enemy have to come to you. You can set up ambushes. If you're losing, usually you got to push to them. But you know what? It's half dozen or another. You can still push if you're losing. Now, with it being a carrier game, it's a little dicey for the DD to try to step on our cap. But if there's no carrier, get on cap, get the points lead, and he can easily run away if the force does come back, because now you switch the roles. With the carrier, you're going to have to do that with maybe one other ship or the help of your friendly carrier to get planes so you can survive. That would be the best situation. Normal situation, you got to go on a cap, pray to God a carrier is not coming after you. But it's at this particular moment in the game when I looked at the map and said, I'm going back to our cap. We have a New Mexico, an Anglia, and a Normandy that are pretty much defending our cap. This flank is already won. The only thing left over here really is the French cruiser. New Mexico's parked in the middle somewhere. But enough of the mini-map. Let's see how this plays out. Now, the enemy carrier kind of been harassing me all game. He's going for the Nuremberg. But, people are still trying to, help us. And just talking in chat and being helpful and not being a jerk about, oh, you're the worst New Mexico driver in the world, or Anglo, what are you doing there? You're such a bad spot. People are trying to be a little bit helpful. Hey, this is where the guy's at. Now, with where the Anglia died at, all the way at A, and these are usually, I believe this is a 4x2 map. Don't know when those torpedoes were launched, but they were probably launched at the extent of the range, considering that our cap is not going off. Now, the Normandy can't see what it is. We know where the French cruiser's at. We know where the New Mexico's at. We know where the Fuso's at. The enemy Normandy just died. It ain't the carrier capping, so it's got to be the DD. Now, I have to go back to cap, but I don't want to be sailing broadside exactly to the New Mexico. And, this is an important thing, too. Like, people ask me, why do you run priority targets? Just assume they're always looking at you. Yes, you can look at their guns, but you know what? All I have to do is look at New Mexico's guns, see they're not looking at me, to know it's the French cruiser that was targeting me. Now nobody's targeting me. He got his fire, he's happy. For whatever reason, our carrier possibly is cycling planes. No, he's dropping torpedoes on New Mexico. Doesn't at least try to spot the destroyer. You know, at least give us a heads up for the guy. Now, I pop my smoke because, you know what, I'm sailing broadside to New Mexico at this kind of range. It's the last thing I want to do, but I changed course because I noticed the smoke cloud on cap, so I don't want to be going the exact course in case this guy launches torpedoes. Now, I'm going to pause it right here. The Kamikaze's on cap in smoke. We still have the points lead. New Mexico has been ignoring me. This is huge. If New Mexico would have shot and killed me, things obviously could have played out differently because the only people responding to cap is myself and the Normandy. Now, the Normandy is probably have his guns looking at the Fuso, but he is heading towards the cap. It's a little bit easier for me to try to use watch hacks than it is for a Normandy. But New Mexico has been ignoring me except for maybe one salvo, and he didn't get much damage. The DD at this point should know there are no planes over him because he's torping the New Mexico. You can see this on the minimap. This Montecuccoli has two choices. You leave the cap, let a battleship kill the cruiser, get back on cap, smoke up, hopefully torp a battleship, cap out, win the game, be the hero. Or stay on cap, pray he torps me, win the game, be a hero. He has to know I don't have Hydra, which is why he's probably staying on cap. If you're staying on cap and you know a ship may have Hydra, you don't stay on cap. He knows I don't have Hydra. Italian ships don't have that. They don't have Hydro. And this is why playing other ships will help you, because you can understand their weaknesses and their strengths. I can't set fires. I can't do damage over time. Once again, I'm part of the target. Nobody's targeting me. Now one person is. No, I'm not. It's telling me it's the DD that targeted me, dropped torps, switched to his guns. Somebody's making fun. I'm like, okay, here, this is where I died of torps. Yes, I eat one. The guy had the advantage. Now, usually I say just shoot your guns, but I've got to dodge this guy's torps. Now, luckily, I was slowing down to begin with to try to get that spread a little bit higher. Now, I was wrong about where the Normandy was having his guns, but I dropped my second set of torps because, Italians don't have the DPM. Boom, there's the Montecuccoli. He's gone. We now have a comfortable lead. We have the only destroyer left. We have two battleships to their one. Could this have played out a lot differently if the New Mexico would have shot me? If the DD didn't stay on cap and just started kiting us away? If Fuso's got an awful lot of health? And if the destroyer's still alive, everybody's thinking, when are his torps coming? Your torps come back fast enough to force people to acknowledge, to move, to change, to go in directions you don't want to go. Like when I had to go back to cap, I had to take broadside to New Mexico. For whoever reason, ignored me. Trust me, guys, I'm not going to survive. But I'm just saying, you have to look at the minimap. You have to see what ships are alive. You have to see what ships were last spotted. You have to see what ships are dying and by who, to give you an idea of where things are. I knew the destroyer was going to cap because there was nothing there. That's why I turned and went back. Our stall side was starting to collapse, which is half the reason I went back. So now we're going to check out the post-battle results and see if we actually do win this game. Now, I do hope you guys liked this video. I do hope you like this kind of style where I just break down one decision and the possible consequences of actions or inactions of ships, players, individuals. I do appreciate all the support you guys do give me. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.